Abdul Kurbazun Tafilitet, Wadanabek, Mahu, Hadis, Aisha, Inakalu, Anuki Fiena Aishu Shukalu, Wakula Shikalu, Naata Kuna Fikalu, Anuki Feragun Shukalu, Wakalukalu Feragun Shuni, Anuki Wahid Kakalu, Wakalukalu Wahid Mani, Nuk Aikilu, Enjiu, Kama Feragun Shukalu, Wakukama Feidu, Nuk Aikilu, Ahuenu, Kudik, Nuka Fizikalu, Kama Tawukamaka Fazi Kalundi, Amidu Fikalu, Anuki Kaba Hawahud, Kalu Kalu Nanuki, Kalu Yaku, Nuk Aikilu, Kalu Babu, Nuk Amidu. Begin our prayers, thinkings, and deeds with whom divine love and all. I am in the love of all, and all love is me. We are all in all. I am a part of all, and all is a part of me. I am one with all, and all is one with me. I could succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I can be all I wish in all, as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. All is I am. All can I can. All does I do. Who am I?
Own thing. Who am I? So we're going into the Egyptian way to overcome bad habits. Normally we wouldn't do a scroll like this, but this scroll is out already on, everywhere.
The Egyptian way to overcome bad habits. Habits, good or bad, make or break you more than you are willing to admit. Habit is both a powerful enemy and wonderful ally of concentration, rehabilitation, changing your bad or addictive habits, or getting new habits. Re means again, re-habitual. Habitual is a habit that is out of control, redundant, something done over and over again. According to the American Heritage Dictionary, the word habit comes from the Middle English word from Old French habitus, from past particle of habere, to have, and the word rehabilitation comes from medieval Latin rehabilitare, meaning to restore to a former rank, Latin rehabilitare, to enable. You must learn to overcome habits, which are injurious to concentration, and to cultivate those which increase it. By taking control of your mind, body, soul, and spirit will obey you. It's your longing or wants for anything or reasons that creates a lack of self or spiritual control. It's the me or ego that controls the emotional you, your soul. To control spirit and soul is to control emotions and desires, and you need to learn how to focus and concentrate. Most people are controlled by their habits. What they fool themselves into thinking is that it needs, yet they are buffeted around by their habits like a shut feather in the winds of shoe, tossing freely about, out of control, even to the point of going out of their minds. They do things in a certain way because of the power of habit. They seldom ever think of concentrating on why they do them this or that way, or to hurt themselves or others, or study to see if they could do them in a better way, or do them without their false needs. Now, my plan in this scroll is to get you to concentrate on your habits so you can find out which are good and which are bad, healthy or unhealthy for you. You will find that by making a few needed changes, you can make even those that are not good for you of service. The good habits you can make much better. A good man is made better through self-help and improvement, building a better you. The first thing I want you to realize is that all habits are governed consciously or unconsciously by the will. Most of you are forming new habits all the time. Very often, if you repeat something several times in the same way, you will have formed the habit. Doing it that way or this way always leads to doing things my way, me first. It becomes what is known as habitual, and if it's disturbing to others, you are called obnoxious. This repeated action wins you the title pain in the butt. But the more you repeat, the stronger that habit grows, and the more deeply it becomes embedded in your inner being, your soul, which manifests as your nature. After a habit has been in force for a long time, it rules the person. That being loses self-control. It becomes a part of you and is hard to overcome as you let it, because deep in the being of each of you is the breath of divine life, a natir, deity, just waiting for you to call on it, to raise it. Let the God in you take over. Know that you are the God in you. Take control of all habits, but you can break any habit by strong concentration on its opposite. And the worst thing that you can let happen to you is to let others influence you, and you fall into their habits, become a part of their beliefs and wants, following a blind soul, or worst of that, a being that has no soul or true purpose, but evil and destruction. All your life, so far as it has definite form, is but a mass of habits that are not just all yours, but many times by influences practical, emotional, and intellectual control. You conform to other man, self, and kind. You give into their image of God, which immediately makes you the devil. You accept their religious beliefs, their languages, and their lifestyles. You become dead, systematically organized for your weak and bearing your indiscriminately toward your destiny, whatever the latter may be, good or bad, success or failure. You are creatures of habits, imitators and copiers of your past selves. You are liable to be bent or cursed, as you can bend a piece of paper, and each fold leaves a crease, which makes it easier to make the fold there the next time. The intellect and will are spiritual functions. Still, they are immersed in matter, and to every movement of theirs corresponds a movement in the brain, that is, in their material correlative. This is why habits of thought and habits of willing can be formed. All physical impressions are the carrying out of the actions of the will and intellect. Your nervous systems are what they are today because of the way they have been exercised. As you grow older, most of you become more and more like automatic machines. The habits we have formed increase in strength until they become you. Then they rule you, or even become an addiction, like smoking, drinking alcohol, and narcotic addiction, dancing, music, and sex. They start as just and end up a judgment in your life, and they can cause your very death. If you don't learn to concentrate on what we are all about, not what the world has made you believe you are about, you will become lost in a world of other ways of being and doing things. You work in your old characteristic way. Your associates learn to expect you to do things in a certain way, and many times you show off to impress your friends and do harm to yourself. So you see that your habits make a great difference in your life. And as it is just about as easy to form good habits as it is bad, you should make it your business as a Nuwapian of the ancient Egyptian order to form only the good. No one but yourself is responsible for your habits. You are free to form the habits that you should, and if everyone could realize the importance of forming the right kind of habits, what a different world this would be. The devil has his and her bad habits. You should not take part in any of his or her ways. Turn to your own. How much happier everyone would be if all learned to respect each other's habits or customs. We are Egyptians, not Negroes or Afro-Americans. We must practice our own habits, not those of other races or customs. That way, all will be happier. Then all instead of the few might have success. Habits are formed more quickly when you are young. But if you have already passed the youthful plastic period, the time to start to control your habits is right now, as you will never be any younger, and you will not be anyone but who you are. You will find the following 9 maxims worth remembering. First maxim: you must make your nervous system your ally instead of your enemy. Stay in control. Second maxim: an acquisition of a new habit, as in the leaving off of an old one, you must take care to launch yourself with as strong and decided an initiative as possible. Remember, you have been living and taught another way of life. Their religion, their gods, their concept on beauty. Now you must form new habits. The person who is in the habit of doing the right thing from childhood has only good motives. So it is very important for you that you concentrate assiduously on the habits that reinforce good motives. Surround yourself with every aid you can. Don't play with fire by forming bad habits or hanging with bad people. Make a new beginning today as an Egyptian and member of the ancient Egyptian order. Study why you have been doing certain things, and you will find your bad habits come from the devil who controls all you see around you. But they don't have to rule you. Turn to self and kind. Give them back their bad habits, customs, and ways. If they are not for your good, shun them henceforth, and they are not for your good as a Nuwabian. They feel everybody should worship them, obey them, and want to be like them. If you have your own mind, or your own religion, or your own customs, they call you a nonconformist, a cult, and anything they can get away with to make you fear them into submission of who and what you are, and to pick up their bad habits. Don't give in to a single temptation of theirs, for every time you do, you strengthen the chain of bad habits, and the 6 ether spirit force bad against you. Every time you keep a resolution, you break the chain that enslaves you and give power to 9 ether forces. Good. Third maxim: never allow an exception to occur till the new habit is securely rooted in your life. Here is the idea. You never want to give in until the new habit, which is really your old habits, taken away from you and is fixed, or else you undo all what has been accomplished by previous efforts, your own power. There are 2 opposing inclinations. One wants to be firm, and the other wants to give in. By your will, you will become firm through repetition. Fortify your will to be able to cope with any and all opposition. Fourth maxim: seize the very first possible opportunity to act on every resolution you make about your new found way of life. You are home in Egypt. You are on the walls. Nobody can take that fact from you. And on every emotional prompting you may experience in the direction of the Egyptian habits you aspire to gain. To make a resolution and not to keep it is of little value. To turn back to the evil ways helps to destroy your people's progress. So by all means, keep every resolution you make, for you not only profit by the resolution, but it furnishes you with an excuse that causes the brain cells and psychological correlatives to form the habit of adjusting themselves to carry out resolutions, commitments, loyalty, devotion, things they don't want you to have to any but them and theirs. A tendency to act becomes effectively ingrained in us in proportion to the uninterrupted frequency with which the actions actually occur, and the brain grows to their use. When a resolve or fine glow of feeling is allowed to evaporate without bearing fruit, it is worse than a chance lost. If you keep your resolutions, you form a most valuable habit. If you break them, you form a most dangerous one. So concentrate on keeping them, whether important or unimportant. And remember, it is just as important for this purpose to keep the unimportant things, for by so doing, you are forming a good habit. Fifth maxim: keep the faculty of effort alive in you by a little gratuitous exercise every day. Be thankful for the truth about you. Finally, for you have tried everything from everybody but your own kind. You now have your story, the right knowledge, right wisdom, and the right understanding. You have your own language, Nuwapik, for your children, your own game called Wu Nupu, pronounced Wu Nupu or Nubu, your own holy land, Tamaray, and your own deities, Pa Natirat, and our own way of life, Nuwapu. Culture is Egyptian. You are now born again. The more we exercise our own will, the better we can control our habits, lives, and future. Every few days, do something for no other reason than its difficulty, so that when the hour of dire need draws near, it may find you not unnerved or untrained to stand the test of time. Know who you are and what you are about at all times. Asceticism of this sort is like the insurance which a person pays on their goods. The tax does them no good at the time, and possibly may never bring them a return. But if the fire does come, their having paid it will be their salvation from ruin. So with the person who has daily insured themselves to habits of concentrated attention, energetic violation, and self-denial in unnecessary things, they will stand like a tower when everything rocks around them, and their softer fellow mortals are like dust blown away in the blast. The young should be made to concentrate on their habits and be made to realize that if they don't, they become walking bundles of injurious habits. Youth is the plastic state and should be utilized in laying the foundations for a glorious future. The great value of habit for good and evil cannot be overestimated. Habit is the deepest law of mortal nature, because their habits either build up their strength or decrease it. Sixth maxim: never allow yourself to be derailed from the course of your resolution. Always be alert and aware of circumstances that seem to consistently take you off course. You must always focus and concentrate on all that you do, even down to the smallest of tasks. Always remember that your works speaks for themselves. If you carry out a task with a lackadaisical attitude and without much concern, it will show in the end result of your works. If you continue to carry out tasks with that type of laid-back attitude, you'll become labeled for it and never relied on by others. Visualize in your mind's eye the end result of your resolution and make that your main objective. The mind or thoughts are very powerful and can manifest whatever is put before it. Your world is the materialization of thought forms of divine intelligence. Seventh maxim: listen to your body. It has all the answers. Stop looking outside of yourself for the answers to your problems. You are in control, so listen to the voice within of agreeable things and beware of complaints of the disagreeable mind. Physical pain in the body is a warning, like the red engine light in a car. The body is a durable piece of machinery and can take quite a bit of abuse before giving any warning signs. Unfortunately, we have strayed away from our ancient Egyptian practices and ignored the basic rules of health. With a sound mind and body, one can accomplish anything ever, overcoming and beating bad habits. Relaxation and proper breathing is the first step to a sound mind, which will lead to a sound body. In order to hear the answers within yourself, you must have silence. Proper diet and exercise will give you the physical strength to execute your resolution successfully. 8th maxim. Remember that the road to true recovery from bad habits, such as smoking, drug addiction, eating disorders, obsessions with guns, violence, and the likes, can only be changed if one admits to the problem another mind. You are out of your own mind and in another. No true progress can be made unless the person who has the problem first admits to their bad habits. When one makes a commitment to change, then they are on the right path to successful recovery back to self. 9th maxim. Learn to love yourself and your kind. This is a very essential resolution to fulfill. For in loving yourself, your Egyptian way of life, your blackness, your kingly 9 ether hair, your nose and lips, you become aware of all. Make the resolution to love your kind as much as you do yourself, because we are all in all. Respect yourself and kind. You don't have to seek to love all. It should come naturally. You don't have to long to hear all. It should come naturally. What of those people who were born without sight and without the ability to hear? Are they deprived of ever seeing or hearing all? Why, you are creatures of habits. Habits have often called a labor-saving invention, because when they are formed, they require less of both mental and material strength. The more deeply the habits become ingrained, the more automatic they become. Therefore, habit is an economizing tendency of your nature, for if it were not for habit, you would have to be more watchful. You walk across a crowded street. The habit of stopping and looking prevents you from being hurt. The right kind of habits keeps you from making mistakes and mishaps. It is a well-known fact that a chauffeur is not able to master the machine's safety until they have trained their body in a habitual way. When an emergency comes, they instantly know what to do. Where safety depends on quickness, the operator must work automatically. Habit means less risk, less fatigue, and greater accuracy. You do not want to become a slave to habits of a trivial nature. In order to overcome undesirable habits, 2 things are necessary. You must have trained your will to do what you want it to do. And the stronger the will, the easier it will be to break a habit. Then you must make a resolution to do just the opposite of what the habit is. Therefore, one habit must replace another. One way of life must replace another. If you have a strong will, you can tenaciously and persistently concentrate on removing the bad habit, and in a very short time, the good habit will gain the upper hand. No human enemy can be as insidious, soul preserving, as unrelenting as an unfavorable habit. Their ways are like a parasite that grows with the growth of the supporting body. And like a parasite, it can best be killed by violent separation and crushing. When life is stormy and seems against you, that is when you often acquire wrong habits. And it is then that you have to make a gigantic effort to think and speak as you should. And even though you may feel the reverse at that moment, the tiniest effort will be backed up by a tremendous power and will lift you to a realization never felt before. It is not in the easy, contented moments of your life that will make your greatest progress, for then it requires no special effort to keep in tune. But it is when you are in the midst of trials and misfortunes, when you think you are sinking, being overwhelmed, then it is important for you to realize that you're linked to a great power. And if you live as you should, there is nothing that can occur in life which could permanently injure you. Nothing can happen that should disturb you. So always to manifest itself in the form which fills your need at the moment. If when you have something difficult to solve, you would be silent like the child, you can get the inspiration when it comes. You will know how to act. You will find there is no need to hurry to disturb yourselves, that it is always wiser to wait for guidance from within than to act on impulses from without. And that guidance from within is the seat of all. Peel and remember, you have within you unlimited power. Ready? Learn to think like an Atiru. Take control of your life as an Egyptian. Don't settle for others' way of life that you see don't work for you and kind. Make things work for you and kind. Create your own way. Be an Egyptian. That's you all the way. No one can take that from you. Stand up and let the world know that you'll never be fooled again with others' bad habits. Learn to have love of self and kind. And loving oneself, you become aware of all. Make the resolution to love your kind as much as you do yourself. Respect yourself and kind. You don't have to seek to love all. It should come naturally. You don't have to long to hear Pa Netrat. It should come naturally. What are the people who are born blind and deaf? Do they never see or hear? But they feel love. True love, divine love, is the master's key. Love your own image.
Sayo, don't be for that. Everybody get this? We got the end of it. It was a short breakdown of something that y'all can listen to daily if you need some type of affirmation of some sort or encouragement to help you on your path, to health and wellness and a right state of mind. Anybody in here have any questions, comments?
Good.
Expressions?
Good. So after going back and listening to that, it's like, so in a sense, it's like, if you don't love your people and you don't love yourself, you know what I'm saying, then like, how can I say it? Because like, I can now kind of understand like a lot of different things too, like about like, so if you don't love yourself, right, it's like you would never be able to love, like, let's say your own people. And that means like you would never be able to love, like in a sense, like you're not saying race, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the things that goes like, for example, I live in the hood, right? Which, and because I love myself, now I'm able to love like everything that goes on, the good and the bad, right? Because the love I have for myself. But before when I was kind of struggling with who I was, I hated everything that I seen that happened in the quote unquote hood, right? And I hated things that happened that was within myself. So reading that, with this affirmation, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something that I've been dealing with too, was like, really trying to understand like, okay, if I love myself, then I can be able to spread love, the right way, not in a controlling way. You know what I'm saying? So just hearing that got me thinking about something that I've been dealing with too. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it.
That's all I had. Makes a lot of sense too. Anybody else want to step up, grab the mic, so to speak? Don't be shy now.
Boy, talk about that. Yeah, that was really. I never heard that stroke before. I really feel that. I see that stroke coincides with a lot that I read in the Bible too, right? Anybody else notice that?
What did you read in the Bible?
No, I say the mind, the book, the mind, the stroke, the mind.
Oh, the mind scroll.
Yeah.
And your potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tua.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, it went right back to doing things that make you uncomfortable, help strengthen you to become comfortable with anything that comes your way.
That's true. That's right.
So that's why I always thinking about that quote, and he just said it. Like, whoa.
It's only uncomfortable to the part of you that have succumbed and is being controlled by your negative side of things and bad habits, which is not you, because you constantly have thoughts that are pleasant towards yourself. Most people do, at least. Or idea to try to do things better, change for the better. You might make New Year's resolution, next week resolution, birthday resolution. So it shows you that you are different than what you are acting like. So you are in another mind instead of your own true mind, expressing yourself, bringing that which is inside of you outwardly and living it accordingly. So that's the part that is uncomfortable, that when we say, do what you may, that may feel uncomfortable, like fasting, meditation, change up your diet, things that you love to eat that you know is not even good, narcotics and things, and, negative vices, toxic situations, etc. Those things, but you got a habit of visiting, you got a habit of doing. Those things could feel uncomfortable to release, or to release, or even the good aspect of things might feel uncomfortable to accept. You follow that? So that's what we mean by uncomfortable. You got to do things that may feel uncomfortable for now, but once you can get in the habit of doing the proper thing, then you'll become comfortable in that. Just like with the bad habits, people become comfortable and make it habitual to pick up a cigarette, Black Mild, drugs, drinking, you know what I mean? And they keep telling themselves, until next time, I'm gonna stop, maybe I should I stop? They have become complacent and comfortable in that habit. And breaking that habit may feel uncomfortable in the start, but the result, my guy, is different. You feel different, feel rejuvenated. You know what I mean? So feel like your best, doing your best, staying on top of you and controlling and being in control for real. And with that, self-esteem goes up and the love for self goes up. And then the negative thoughts, your negative thoughts, it becomes weak, things that you complain about and things that irritate you. And if you are in your own peace, literally in your own peace, and not looking outside of things for things to have peace, or a temporary satisfaction or peace, you know what I mean? Being inebriated, you'll be in a good place. You'll be in a good place. You're on your journey. Boy, anybody else? Oh, when you finish now?
Oh yeah, I was finished. It was just I was just pondering on what you said. Yeah, that it makes sense. And it's like yeah, like things that make you uncomfortable is because you really don't even want to stop. So it's uncomfortable because you don't want to stop, but you know that you're supposed to be stopped. So once you're able to, like you said, get through things that makes you uncomfortable, then everything you get to knocking down certain things about yourself that's habitual or habits that one by one you're able to you can conquer. If you get multiple things going on, you can just keep knocking them down.
Yes. The also like we say again, it's not just what you stop that can be uncomfortable. It's what you start or restart. If you've done it and broke off it, and you want to try again and do do things you broke. That part might not want to, might not feel like it. That's what's uncomfortable. I don't feel like getting up today and do this. I don't feel like, what I mean? You come with excuses, and that could hinder your stride, your movement, your growth. So,
lastly, it's like stop. Also, I got to like stop half-assing stuff. See what I'm saying? Like you can't be half-assing stuff and expect, you know what I'm saying, to get the full, how you say it, reward. You know what I'm saying? So like when I read that part, it's like, yeah, that's facts. Because even some of the things that I'm not saying, I don't want to keep putting myself into it, but it's just like if we all just like give 100% inside of the things that we're asked to do or anything that we're trying to do, trying to accomplish, then you know what I'm saying, we'll be successful. You know what I'm saying? But just that half-ass trying to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like it's better for me hearing that. It's better that I don't get it done than me half-assing it. And kind of even with the language class sometimes. Sometimes I'm not saying half-assing. It's like I really try, but instead of me sending it out to the people I should be sending it out to, it's like, oh, I think it's done. So then it's so much, it's so much like typos in between it. So it's like, okay, to me that's half-ass. You see what I'm saying? Because now it's like, yeah. So it's about taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this scroll was about accountability. You know what I'm saying? And if you're willing to just stop always, not saying judging yourself, but just willing to be a real student. But you know what? There's a lot of things that I do gotta really learn. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I gotta fix. But it takes time. But I'm willing to I'm willing to go through. I'm willing to keep coming into this chat and listening and learning and then applying and seeing. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm really understanding that this stuff is it's a journey. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all brought up something about patience, right? When I heard that part, patience, I'm like, that's facts. Like you got to be patient. Now myself too. It's like some of the things I want to do it now, but it's like, okay, if you just calm down, wait, even take a nap, wake up, your answer will be there. Like, and it may not be there right now. So just by hearing that, I'm like, yo, if I heard it a bit sooner in my life, maybe it would have saved me from so many things. Maybe I would have had an 850 credit score by now. You see what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter was, I was never patient. I want a credit card now. You know what I'm saying? I want this now. You see? So just going over that is something that you should be, I feel as if it's something that should be read not just once, but read again, probably 3 times. You see what I'm saying? For us to really, really understand it. You know what I'm saying? So tell her to, the sister that read it, because with her not making so many mistakes, it made us be able to actually understand what was being read to us, not just, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Sure. Patience, right? To be patient is to become your own patient. Right?
I'm taking that. I'm still in that right now.
You can have it. You share it. But that's the truth. To be patient is to become your own patient.
I was about to say I'm still in that too.
It's all good. But why I gotta say still? It's not still.
I'm borrowing it. I'm borrowing it.
All right. So, and this is what it is. And that's why we make it into audio, video editing, so that you can listen to it again, listen to it as many times, and the listeners, I've just listened to it, just for a little bit of reminder. And you got the rest of the, you got for the rest of the way. All we did was remind you. Cool. You want to say something?
Oh, yeah, I was just listening to somebody earlier when I was doing some power washing, and I don't know who the young lady was or whatever. Somebody had it on their phone, and I was just, pretty much ear hustling. I could hear it, and it was like the Matrix, and it was like my tricks, and I was like, wow, like that's exactly what that is saying. My tricks, like my own tricks, tricking my own self out of my, being my higher, coming into being my higher self and all of that. So I really felt that, and I really dig that role.
That's right. Sure.
Even going through this, right, it's something that I feel as if can be taught. Cause I remember I remember when she was reading, it brought up a point where it was like, you can teach your children this. That's what it said, right? It was like, you can teach your children this. And today, when I was outside dealing with the kids today, just outside trying to see where the kids' minds at. I'm like, yo, for real, these are the things that once the curriculum gets started, these are some of the books that we got to read to them, because in a sense, it's like these kids out here, in a sense, their parents don't know this, right? So how are they going to get information? You know what I'm saying? So like, in a sense, it's like, that's why I like how short it was too, because it's an easy read. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this is something that I can print out and give to like some of my people that I know. But hey, man, read this real quick. Check this out. You see what I'm saying? Because like you'll be able to retain the knowledge and get it. You see what I'm saying? So like for me, it's like this information I feel is very important to teach to your children or the children you're dealing with in general. You know what I'm saying? So they don't go through a lot of the mistakes that we went through of just rushing. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. Starting early with the children, have to start early before they can get, with the good habits, training them to do that and prioritize better good habits, positive habits towards themselves, health-wise, and, towards building themselves before they get consumed or overcome by negative habits. You know what I mean? Throwing them on the video game, always on the computer, making Google and stuff think for them, answer questions for them instead of, or anything like that, or get, enticed by certain type of bad, dieting and bad wording and the way they react to the adults or their family, etc. All with each other. Starting them early, putting that foot down, putting that, the hammer down, putting that feather up. You know what I mean? So, so here we are, you're correct. I'm glad you remember that. It's always about the children. It is.
Because I was talking to the kids today too, right? And I know it's like these kids are way smarter. I'm not saying y'all don't know this, but I'm saying these kids are way more smarter than their parents expect. You know what I'm saying? Because this kid was talking to me today. He said, I'm afraid, I'm gonna use it. He said, sometimes, I'm an only child. And my energy is oftentimes, that's what he says, that my energy is oftentimes because sometimes I feel something deep down inside him, like a negative spirit. He's 9 years old. He said he feels like a negative spirit comes inside him when he's sad. So I'm like, yo, hold on. So I was listening to him, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I said what I said, but what I'm saying is this. These kids want the information. You know what I'm saying? It's the parents. The parents, they're so stuck on their own way. He was telling me he was like, his mom is out right now doing ladies' night, girls' night out, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't complaining, he was just talking. So I'm like, bro, like the way, in the way he was phrasing his words, I'm like, yo, like, you're way more deeper than you even know. You see what I'm saying? It's like, so the parents, they come to these kids like they babies. All they do is give them candy and say that when in actuality, these kids want to know about themselves. These kids want to know why do they feel the way they feel. You see what I'm saying? He was still young, so he couldn't even put the words. He couldn't even use his words. So all I told him was, I was like, just try to describe it best as you can, and then I'll find the word for you. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, so for me, it's like, yeah, now I see the correlation of why we're even reading this. You see what I'm saying? Because, like, for real, it's not, and even right now, not that it's a big deal, but, just dealing with a lot of grown people, right? Grown people, like, we talked about it, I think we told it earlier, I think it was me and Nev, I can't remember who it was, but grown people don't want to be told nothing. You see what I'm saying? they want, and the only way I feel that now you can really talk to them and tell them stuff is once their children is in whatever you started, and now they see the positive influence on their children. Now they're willing to come to you, look at you like you're Jesus, and be like, oh, so what are you doing? You see what I'm saying? So like now, so now with this message that I'm receiving and that we all receiving, because I don't know if I'm gonna put this business out there, but I seen what y'all started to of hooray, you know. For me, it's like, yes, we are falling in line, you know what I'm saying? Because it's about really the children, and then once we get the children, then these parents who think they know it all, right, will fall in line. You see what I'm saying? So who
Tour, you know. I like that. But always remember, it's not just girls' night out, it's men' night out too, while it could be at home, being and leading as an example, as a father, protector, and there as well. You follow that? I know that you just, you know, was on the flow. But that's true. Always. You know, we could set example. We can teach. You know, one of the best teachers is the one who know how to teach without speaking, because actions speaks louder, right? Works over word, WOW, right? Wow. So that's why the children look at you like, wow. You know, at the same time, we know that the adults who are caught up in their habits are children to their habits. A child is yet, you know, their insecurity about those things that lay within deep inside of them makes them put on a facade, a mask, and try to seem more and more like knowledgeable and wise, and want you to respect the image that they are displaying. That's a fluke. That's a cloak. You understand? So family, especially if you have children or people looking up to you, youngins that's looking up to you, you're responsible for the way you know, portray yourself, you know, and everything should be, you know, pure and not with some type of, you know, intent, you know what I mean, behind it, a negative type of intent or selfishness behind it. What's our hat, family? We're gonna end the sister. We gotta hear another sister's voice. Are you there with us, Sister Nashima? I see your picture over there, looking like Morpheus.
How everyone doing? Y'all doing y'all best?
As best as we can do, always.
Well, when she was talking about habits, that kind of hit home for me earlier. Because, you know, one of my habits is ice. I can go through a bag of ice in a day. That's not good.
Wow, I mean, yeah, I've seen that. Like, why do people chew ice? That don't, like, brain freeze. Like, yeah. But
I don't know. I had this spinal surgery, and then I just started chewing ice. I don't know. It's like it's the crunchy sound for me. I think when I was under, like a friend of mine told me what you get when they drilling in your spine and your bone, the crunchy sound. Which I shouldn't have said it like that, but she said it's like something that mentally goes on with you, that crunchy noise, and then you're under, which it's like more like a hypnosis, or instead of it being painful, it feels good because you're sedated.
Gotcha.
Something she was telling me is more of a mental thing, because I wasn't what do you call it? I wasn't addicted to ice before then, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I do need to get rid of a lot of bad habits I have.
Yeah,
I really do. And a habit is hard to get rid of. Well, I'm not going to say it's hard. Let me rephrase that. Sometimes you wake up and then you realize you already did the habit and it's too late, and then you try again. That's one of my things. Is because I'll wake up, drink a cup of coffee, and remember, oh, I shouldn't have drunk this coffee while I'm drinking it, and then pour it out. And then I'm like, dang, I waste my money because I got a whole big thing of coffee. And I'm like, I should just throw it away. But then when somebody come over, be like, can I have a cup of coffee? And then you go out and buy more coffee because you know your family gonna come over and want the coffee. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what I'm working with.
Yeah, that's an African thing. Go to Sudan or someplace like that, coffee is like liquor to them. Yep. So yeah, bad habits tend to, you know, use your body, your mind as a habitat.
Dang.
So you gotta clean the garden. You gotta be the overseer, the goddess, and gods, the tears. That's that. That's all I have, family. We're gonna end it this Saturday hour with all that. Thank y'all for showing up again. Y'all, you know, true soldiers are always showing up. No excuses. Let's go.
You already.
So, thank y'all for showing up. Let's end it with the all affirmation.
And thank you for having us, brother.
That's Jose.
Abdul Kur Bazun Tafilatat. Wadana Bet Mahu Hadis Aisha Fi Inakalu. Anuki Fiena Aishu Shukalu Wakula Shukalu. Na Atakuna Fikalu. Anuki Feragun Shukalu. Wa Kalukalu Feragun Shuni. Anuki Wahid Kakalu. Wa Kalukalu Wahid Mahani. Nuk Aikilu NG. Kama Feragun Shukalu wa Hubkama Feidu. Nuk Aikilu Ahwenu Kudi Nuka Fizi Fikalu. Kama Atawukama Kafazi Kalu Amidu Fikalu. Anuki Kaba Hawa Kalu Kalu Nanuki. Kalu Yaku Nuk Aikilu. Kalu Bamu Nuk Atmilu. Begin our prayers, thinkings, and deeds with hope, divine love and all. I am in the love of all, and all love is me. We are all in all. I am a part of all, and all is a part of me. I am one with all, and all is one with me. I could succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I can be all I wish in all, as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. All is I am. All can I can. All does I do. Who am I?
Own thing. All right, family. Fair Ushat. Wadu.
I won't feel who.
Here we share. Who am
I
I?
won't think.
Who am I?